From Kingdom Hearts 1 all the way to Kingdom Hearts 3, the combat changed and grew a lot. In this video though, I'm only going to talk about the mainline games. But before I get into those games, I just want to talk a little bit about the spin-offs. The main thing that was different in the unnumbered games is the deck commands, which just made it easier to play because most of them were released on handhelds like PSP and the DS. However, Birth by Sleep introduced a mechanic called Shot Lock that was used in games after, like 0.2 A Fragmentary Passage in Kingdom Hearts 3. It's a mode you get into by pressing R1, and you enter into a targeting mode where you lock on to enemies. Once you reach the point where you want to stop and shoot, or you reach the maximum number of shots, you press X to fire, and it sends key blast like shots at the enemies you targeted. The mechanic is pretty fun to use sometimes, and has a variety of options in combat. So with Birth by Sleep out of the way, I want to start off with the first game. So in Kingdom Hearts 1, Sora is very grounded, like he's not floaty at all. He starts off with 3 regular attacks while in the air and when he's on the ground, unless you equipped Air Combo Plus and Combo Plus. The game's comeback can seem very clunky when you start it, but it becomes better, and in my opinion, it's the second best in the whole series. Even one of my friends who played Kingdom Hearts for the first time said that he didn't like it at first, but as he kept going on and on, he started to learn it, and he started to like it. The game also has magic, and to use magic effectively, you'll need to learn how to use it with the jump mechanic. First starting out, people don't know that Sora using his spells while being on the ground is a very slow way of doing it. Instead, you should do a quick hop step by tapping the jump button slightly and then using the spell. It's a much faster way, and you can continuously use the spells. There are a variety of spells that you can use in this game as well. Damage can be done with most of them, like gravity, fire, and thunder. And then there are 2 support spells. The first one is Cure, which heals you, and the second one is Arrow, which reduces damage taken by an enemy. Sora also has great abilities like the Slide and Dash, where you can close in on a faraway enemy, and Aerial Sweep, where Sora jumps at an enemy in a swinging motion. There are also limits like Strike Blade, where Sora throws his Keyblade at a targeted enemy, and Sonic Blade, where Sora dashes at an enemy with his Keyblade continuously. So moving on to Kingdom Hearts 2, Sora is pretty floaty in this game, and he has a good amount of abilities that put him into the air. He has Aerial Dive, Aerial Spiral, Aerial Finish, and just like Kingdom Hearts 1, he has Aerial Sweep. The fighting in this game is pretty fun, because he does so many satisfying things by just pressing X. The gameplay is also much more engaging this time around, and one big reason why is because of the reaction commands. A reaction command is a special attack Sora is able to do by pressing triangle. This occurs during boss fights and certain Heartless fights. It makes boss fights much more cinematic and simple Heartless fights not as boring by adding some flavor to them. The magic is somewhat the same. Certain magic spells come back but are totally different, like fire. In Cage 1, fire is just a simple fire blast, but in Cage 2, it's a ring of fire around Sora. We could also speak about Blizzard, which in Cage 1 had 3 ice shots, but now in Cage 2, it only has 1. There are also new spells, like Magnet and Reflect. Magnet pulls surrounding enemies into an orb, and it acts as a combo finisher. But if you give Sora a finishing plus, he can still hit the enemies while they're being pulled in with more attacks. Reflect is a spell that covers Sora in a shield in the shape of a sphere that protects him and counters the enemy's attack with small explosions after the shield goes away. This is a great spell for boss fights, especially in higher difficulties if you know how to use it. Cage 2 also introduces Drive forms, which are forms that let Sora become more powerful for a short period of time, but at the expense of a party member. Each form has their own unique strengths and weaknesses. Valor form focuses more on strength in combat, while something like Wisdom form focuses more on magic in combat. There are more forms like Master form, Limit, and the last one you get, Final form, which is the most powerful one. In my opinion, Cage 2 has the most fun combat, and it's a good equalizer between the grounding mechanics in 1 and the crazy floating in 3. I would even go as far as saying that it's my favorite combat in any game that I ever played. Kingdom Hearts 3 is probably my least favorite out of the bunch, and that's because of the crazy floatiness of this game. I can see how some people like it, but after all these years, it still doesn't do it for me. Besides that though, it has Shot Lock, Flow Motion, which is from Dream Drop Distance, and Keyblade form changes. Flow motion lets Sora use the environment around him to move faster, like using rails, walls, and poles. It helps him jump high, and it also can attack enemies in cool ways. The Keyblade form changes are a cool addition to the game. When using the Keyblade enough and getting enough damage with them, you'll get a command that will be a form change. Some Keyblades have the same form changes, like Kingdom Key and Starlight both allow you to use second form, while Happy Gear and Wheel of Fate have you use strike form. All in all, I still feel like KH3 is a great game. It's just that some of the changes that were made to the combat don't suit me. Even though I feel that way, I still commend Square for trying new things out and implementing changes to each game's combat. Hopefully Kingdom Hearts 4 puts a lot of the positives in from the previous 3 games. I saw that in KH4, they plan to bring back the reaction command because a lot of people wanted it back after playing Kingdom Hearts 3. But that's a good sign for the future. If you somehow got to the end of this video, I just want to say thank you for watching. It was pretty fun making this video, and I have so many other ideas and videos to make about Kingdom Hearts and other games. So if you want to, do me a favor and subscribe. Be smooth and stay safe.